people kept asking me, "Who's Rex?"
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like business and stuff, I'm going by Rex.
Yeah, because. So what made you go by shit? I'm turning down your stuff, and my mic's the one that's loud. What made you go by Rusty in school?
So my parents gave me that nickname.
Oh yeah.
My dad's name's Rex, so it was just a way to differentiate the two of us when we were getting yelled at, basically.
That's hilarious.
Because
That's
she was like,
hilarious.
"I can't just say the same name and have you figure it out."
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Dude, do me a favor. Adjust your mic for me so it's closer to your mouth.
closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just like bend it some. It bends a little.
How about that?
There we go.
Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Much better that we don't sound so far away. All right. Here we go. Rex, Eighmey. Eighmey, right?
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Man,
I do my
you're
best.
on it.
I'm trying. Sometimes I don't do so well on the names. And I always second guess myself, but I'm always telling myself I'm getting better at names.
Well, it's a tough one as well.
It is.
It's a tough one.
All right, dude. We are rocking and rolling. All right, brother. It's so good to be sitting down with you. We connected right after, I don't know, how long has it been since we've been out of high school?
10 or 11 years now.
Dude, you know what? I think it's 13 years now.
Is it really?
It's 2019. We graduated in 2006, right?
Wow. I don't think I want to admit that it's that long ago.
Shit, bro. Oh, man. Why did you come back to St. Louis? I wanted to ask you this when we were talking just a second ago, because you're in Hawaii for a good while and you're killing it in real estate out there.
So I was dating a girl that I met in Columbia when I was in school at Mizzou, and while I was working in Columbia, I had that opportunity to go to Hawaii, and I just couldn't pass that up. We had continued to date, and a little over a year into being in Hawaii, we decided to get married. So
Yeah.
I made the move back to St. Louis. A lot of days I definitely I regret not staying in Hawaii because, I mean, who doesn't love paradise? But
Yeah, man, but everything can get old, right? Did you at any point, did it just become normal?
it did, just because normal life ends up taking over.
Yeah.
I always tell people Hawaii is a place you'd love to retire, but when you're working there, it's a lot like any other place.
Yeah. How many islands are there?
So, man, don't test me on this. I think there's 7 total. There's
Yeah.
5 main ones people go to.
I don't know.
Oahu is where Honolulu is,
Okay.
where the most people reside.
Yeah, that's the big island. Is that what they call that?
No, so the big island is Hawaii itself.
Oh, okay.
And that's biggest by landmass versus population.
Okay. How many people live there, you think?
On that island, I don't know, maybe 250,000, 500,000.
Oh, really?
But on Oahu has probably like 2 million, I'd say. I'm probably way off on these stats.
That's cool, dude. Don't worry about it. We're not looking it up. We could, but it's not.
It's not that important.
It's not that serious. Yeah, no, I can dig it, man. Do you hunt?
I do hunt. I didn't hunt out there.
Oh, what?
I didn't know about it. I mean, I'd heard stories, I should say. On the island I was on, there was not
Yeah.
regular, at least deer hunting. They did, some local friends would do boar hunting, surprisingly. And
Yeah.
that seemed pretty cool.
Yeah. But which island? And I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but there's that. Is it Kona? Is that an island out there?
So Kono's on the Big Island. The Big Island is definitely where most people hunt.
Okay, yeah, because there's like an ungodly amount of axis deer there, and it's just open season on them.
So I didn't know that until I left, really. I mean, again, I'd heard a few friends. Brennan Lowry actually lived in Hawaii with me, and he had heard.
Oh, for real?
He had heard that there was deer hunting on the Big Island, and I was, at the time, I just realized I don't really have the ability, time, or
Yeah.
resources to go hunt an animal on an island. But now I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and he mentioned that he goes out there and that it is such a problem, and I definitely want to go back and.
Dude, I might just live my life in the woods hunting deer.
I was just saying, let's go together.
Dude.
It sounds like a really fun.
Dude, let's do it. I'm down. Man, deer hunting is so big on my list of.
You've not done it at all?
I've never. Well, I went deer hunting one time, and I should specify specifically bow hunting. Like I want to do bow hunting. I did go rifle hunting once. It was so fucking cold and snowy. I'm just like, man, this is just not enjoyable. It was not a good experience. I mean, all in all, it was still a good hunting experience, but it definitely was uncomfortable.
Well, maybe this was supposed to happen because growing up in high school, I didn't hunt. Maybe once or twice, just here and there. My dad had kind of quit hunting. He was older.
Okay.
So in college, I kind of just wanted to get back into it myself. I just realized I was like, I love being outside. At that time I had learned of the overpopulation of the whitetail in Missouri in a lot of areas, and I had tried venison quite a few times and liked it.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of prescribed to I don't like to kill anything I'm not going to eat.
Okay.
And so at that time I was like, I want to give it a go. And a friend of ours let us hunt on his land, got my first deer, and then I was hooked.
Okay.
And that was rifle season. And then I didn't really have a place to hunt, or I thought I didn't have a place to hunt. And so I kind of would do it sparingly here and there. But come to find out, I think it was when I lived in Hawaii, I came back, my uncle said, hey, let's go to the family farm and walk around. And I was like, which farm? Because I knew we had a farm, but it was way up north, and the guy that farms the land usually leases out the land to other hunters. Okay. So this uncle said, let's go look at this thing we call the tree farm. Now, this is in Cape County, down by Cape Girardeau.
Okay.
And I said, okay. So we went and walked around it, and I just realized this is a really big piece of land I didn't really know my family had access to.
Okay.
And so I asked my grandma, I said, can I come down here and hunt? She's like, yeah, of course. She's like, there are people who hunt it because they hadn't used it. They're not hunters. My grandfather wasn't. So there's other people using it.
Yeah.
And so she's like, you're going to have to coordinate with them. Anyway, long story short, I've been hunting on this property for the last 5 years now.
Oh, nice.
And it's 600 plus acres.
Oh, shit. That's huge.
And I got a free bow from a friend, and I restrung it. So if you want to go sometime, I've got an extra bow and a bunch of space.
Oh, man. Yeah, I need to get a bow. Man. That's the move right there, dude. We're gonna have to make that happen.
I was gonna say, if you're interested, we're always going down. We got a little metal shed. It's like a glorified tent.
Oh yeah.
It's got a wood burning stove.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh yeah, we're gonna make this happen for sure.
It's really nice.
That's the move. Hell yeah, dude. That's just I want to. But the thing about bow hunting, you need to shoot archery. You just need to shoot all the time to get good.
It is not.
You can't just
easy.
Arbitrarily just go.
No, that's a good point. Especially because when you stare down a deer with a bow, it's a whole different experience than looking at a target even.
Oh hell yeah, dude. Oh man, yeah. I need to start shooting. I need to get a bow.
Like I said, I'm happy to let you borrow this one.
What kind of bow is it?
It's a Browning compound bow.
Yeah.
It's older, but it's in really good shape. I've shot it. It shoots really well. It shoots straight.
Yeah.
Again, before you go buy money or spend money on something, I'll literally let you have it.
That's true, man. Yeah. What's the draw length on it? Do you know?
The length, I don't know.
Oh my God,
you got long reach.
I do.
Well, and I don't know if it's able to modify that or not. So
I don't know what to look at it.
I know it's like a 60 or 70 pound draw weight, but I don't know about the length.
Yeah.
I mean, it fits me. I definitely have a shorter wingspan than you do, but
yeah.
Anyway, you should definitely get into it. It's a great sport. I haven't even gotten a deer with a bow yet. We've only started getting into it the last 2 years, and I got close enough one time, but when I drew, the deer caught wind of me or
really?
Saw me and
did the wind change, you think, or were you loud, or
no? Well, in one time I did have it drawn. I was actually carrying a climbing stand on my back.
Oh yeah.
And this land is pretty hilly, really hilly. It's about half a mile from the Mississippi River.
Okay.
So it's a lot of kind of up and down. And I was cutting across a hill, and literally just stopped to kind of look around and take a break because carrying that stand, even though it's only 35, 40 pounds. Over, wearing a bunch of hunting gear, you get hot.
Oh yeah,
you're wearing hunting boots, and so I kind of stopped just to look for a good tree, really, and see if there was a good spot to climb up. And then I just look, and there's a deer coming right at me, and I knew I couldn't put down that climber because it's aluminum; it would clang.
Yeah, so you just had to hold it and make the shot.
So I held it, and I did get drawn on it, but. Again, I didn't feel comfortable I was going to make an ethical kill.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah.
And so I honestly just kind of enjoyed being that close to
Yeah,
the
dude.
deer.
How did it feel?
It was awesome. It's both like a reverence and an adrenaline rush at the same time.
Yeah, dude. The goal is to keep your heart rate low, right? Just to stay as relaxed as possible.
That's easier said than done.
Yeah, dude. You're probably just fucking just jacked. Like is everything just in overload at that moment. Like you're so excited to get that kill.
Yeah, and just to see one. I mean, it's different because when you're in town, you see deer every day by chance. But when you're out hunting them in their environment, they own that space. And there are days, weeks. I mean, I went 7 days one time without seeing a deer on that whole property.
Yeah, dude, they're smart.
I mean, yeah. So when you do see one, regardless, it's special when you're out in the wild.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you get close to it. You just feel that energy.
Yep.
Oh, dude.
You see how alert they are, and they're out there hiding from predators all day.
Yeah, dude, they're so in tune with everything. Oh, man.
I was reading something about the way the deer, the way that they smell in like a archical pattern of some sort.
Really?
So they pick up wind from like, I don't know. Again, I'm still a novice. I'm learning. As you know, hunting is a deep rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah, people have some real knowledge.
Yeah, so I'm still learning, but the way their sight and smell works is not the way ours works. It's
right.
Pretty unique.
Yeah. Have you heard Remy Warren talk about hunt, or I guess maybe Joe Rogan was talking about Remy Warren, how he likes to hunt like while he's fasting.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he says like when he's hungry, like it kind of like heightens his senses.
Wow.
So he's more like tuned in.
I never thought of it that way, but I could totally see it.
I can see it.
You get your biological factors going. It definitely would help remove a little bit of the remorse of letting go of an arrow toward a.
You're hungry, yeah. Like you want that. You need it.
Yeah.
This food, this nourishment.
And you do as you get older realize there's a big difference between a wild animal meat and just your average meat you get at the grocery store.
It.
Yeah, first and foremost,
yeah,
dark red meat.
Yeah, you can see it.
But then you eat just a small chunk, and it feels like you just ate like a half-pound burger.
Yeah.
It seems to satiate you more, and I think the nutrition probably shows that it does per ounce.
Yeah, dude.
But you feel it. I didn't think, I thought I'm hungry as all get out. I could eat a bunch, and we were eating some backstrap, and 2 or 3 of those slices of what if it was turkey, I could have eaten 10 more.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that nutrient dense meat. Do you eat the liver?
I've tried liver, but I'm not a big organ meat of any sort. So far, I've just not. I'm a texture eater a lot, and the texture of liver is just kind of disgusting.
It's not your thing, huh?
No.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get some liver.
I've got cow liver, but I don't know if I have any deer.
I want deer liver. Although the liver is like the healthiest part of an animal.
I can see that.
It's just it's so nutrient dense. Apparently, like when wolves get a kill, like the alpha always eats the liver first.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the most nutrient dense part, man.
I know it's a tradition for hunters to eat the heart of their first deer.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
I didn't do that. I didn't.
Fuck that.
Maybe that's just like a troll that hunters do on the other hunters.
Nah, man, I believe people do it. I 100% believe people do it, but not I, sir.
No.
I will not be one.
No.
Although, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's prepared right.
I will try almost anything. I will say that. So
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't say I would never do it, but it was not my first choice when we're out there, cleaning the deer.
Yeah.
That wasn't something we saved.
Yeah. So if you're in a foreign country, would you eat some other animals?
Oh, yeah. I was in China, and I tried to get dog meat.
How long were you in China for?
I was there for 8 weeks, maybe, about 2 months.
Oh, nice.
And we traveled to, I can't remember if it was an odd number, 9 or 13 cities, something like that. We went to the big cities, and then we went to inland.
Yeah. And
went to a lot of smaller cities.
Yeah, so you got to see like a lot of the more rural countryside.
Yeah.
Of China.
It was awesome. It's a beautiful country. Just like America, it has deserts. It has, coastline. It's got a Missouri, like, kind of temperate area.
Yeah.
And then, there was this particular bus ride where we were going through these kind of mountains out in middle of nowhere to me at least, and you would just drive past rice paddies everywhere, and folks got their ox. I had never seen an ox in person, just massive animal out there working the fields.
Yeah.
And
Like
we're
an
just on
everyday
like
sight for them.
dirt roads still, whereas we had just left these cities that are super modern and updated. So the disparity of the rural to the urban areas in China is still, at least when I was in there in 2008, so it's already been 10 years since I've been there.
I mean, from my understanding, and I can't remember how long ago that it was that I heard of this, but I had a friend, he was fighting for like a professional organization over there, and he was just talking about how, like, the countryside is very poor.
It is. It even in the cities, the disparity of wealth is far greater than here.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people driving Rolls Royces, and then there's plenty of people like sweeping the streets for $5 a day to try to survive. Like,
whoa, yeah. Is it I don't know if it's Tokyo or maybe Hong Kong, or both of those Hong Kong's in Japan, right? What's the other big?
Tokyo's in Japan. Hong Kong used to be its own territory owned by the British.
That's what I'm talking about. Did you used to have like a passport to get into Hong Kong?
Specific, I don't know you're right. You had to have some kind of special way to get in.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And now China took it back because it was like whatever agreement they had an expiration date.
Yeah.
For when Britain was like done being, I guess, a part of it. And
yeah.
I've never been to Hong Kong. I hear it's awesome.
Oh, so you didn't go to Hong Kong?
No, we went to Beijing and Shanghai, and then into the inland, into Xi'an and Chongqing and all these like industrial towns.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And you said you tried to get dog?
I tried. Yeah.
Why did you try?
I don't know. I figured if they're, if they eat it, actually do eat it, and it's not a urban legend, then why not try it?
Do they?
Well, so
rats for sure, right?
This girl I met said that they definitely do, and then I don't know if she was either embarrassed or she just couldn't find it, but she said she couldn't find it.
Oh.
Because I was like, take me somewhere that
has. You didn't look hard enough, dude.
I'm sure I really could have found it, but
yeah.
And I might have eaten something that was,
yeah,
not what it said it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I don't know which country it was, but it was definitely like there's one on like rats and like how you can make a good living like hunting rats and like selling them.
Really?
Because it's just such common cuisine.
I would believe it. I'm sure I ate some. I mean, we purposefully ate some weird stuff there, so I'm sure we accidentally ate other stuff that we didn't know.
Oh man, were you worried about getting sick?
Not worried. At the time, I was 19 and 20. I guess I turned 20 while I was there.
Yeah,
and I did. It does mess with you. It's just a complete different set of ingredients. And
oh yeah.
One time we were out eating at this restaurant or something, and all the toilets are like just holes in the ground, like you hear in most places. If you're not in like a really like modern Western style hotel or something, it's just a urinal flat on the ground.
Yeah.
And one time I could tell something was going on. And I was like, I can't do this in public. So we were staying at a university, and I took a taxi cab back there, and I had to like waddle like halfway, like half a mile from this dirt road back to our like dormitory. But I couldn't eat for like a day and a half. I don't know if it was food poisoning or it was like
you just weren't ready for that.
It was bad.
Who knows? Ooh, shit, bad. Dude. Whoa.
So, but I tried. I mean, tons and tons of stuff. The flavors are all amazing. The part that's hard for us is they use bone and everything. They don't waste the whole, the history behind China is they don't waste anything. So they chop up, you'll get a chicken and they lay it out and they just go chop, 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 and they'll serve it to you,
Oh, really?
They don't think about cutting the breast or the meat off of the bone or anything. They cook it all at once.
It's just the whole bone. Oh, damn, it's just the whole body.
Yeah.
Hey, man, to each their own. To each their own. Did you see the Great Wall of China?
We went to a little portion of it. Weird portion. Outside at the bottom, they had like a pit.
Yeah.
Full of black bears. It was like, so while you're here at the Great Wall, if you'd like to feed the bears, come on over.
The fuck. All right, man. I can dig it. So, okay. Were you able to like go on the Great Wall?
Yeah. So we got to. it's so long that there's multiple places
Yeah, I
you
know
can
it's
visit
it's
it.
just sections, right? I mean that you can.
Yeah, and some are destroyed in places, I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can walk for, we didn't have forever because we were on a little like bus tour.
Okay.
But I think we were there for like 2 hours, and
That's
you can kind
dope.
of go up and down it as far
That's
as you
dope.
could.
Yeah, that's definitely like one of those things that's like, boom, like that's.
It's meaningful for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, fuck. It's definitely one of those man-made feats.
The age of that country hits you hard when you're there. 'Cause
Yeah.
you forget how young our country is until you really travel the world.
Yeah, man. There are just civilizations that are just so much older, and the buildings are just so much older. That's what when we were talking about, Graham Hancock, and like, just civilization is just it's so old. We can't even really wrap our minds around the actual number.
Right.
Like, we're talking of just thousands and thousands of years, like tens of thousands of years.
And we try to make sense of it,
But it's just like, it just blows me away.
yeah, I mean there's some, you've heard of the terracotta soldiers, and some of that area they had some areas where I think they said it was 6,000 BC is what these like settlements were from.
Holy
And at the time, it's
shit.
just like looking at that, I'm just like, man, it's so hard to conceptualize even that, and that's
Yeah.
not even 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, but when you think about it, yeah, I mean, I guess there's just evidence of civilization, but I guess, I guess they can test the ground, but the Earth itself, just the whole thing is just fucking old.
Yeah.
So like even here, like our civilization is really young, but I mean, there's definitely some spots like you can go to, and it's just like, fuck, man, like how old is this spot?
Yeah, and how much of it were we living there? We just didn't have records of it too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So this is, I guess this is a good time to segue. So at this point in time, you weren't having, or were you having, like nerve issues at this time?
So no, at that time I was just in college, going through school, and happened to take Chinese as a foreign language, and my teacher led that trip.
Yeah.
So thankfully I was in, as far as health is concerned, I was in good shape.
Yeah, that's good. So like you're actually able to enjoy. You probably wouldn't have been able to make the trip if you fucking weren't, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't have. I probably would have still tried though.
You would have did it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I love traveling, and I love that trip. I can't tell you how many people I've told you need to go to China.
Yeah.
It's a very unique place. The people are all very friendly. It's like another world. It's night and day.
The culture's way different. Way different. They're really big on like hierarchies and like classes. Or are they really in the classes still these days? But I know
things are changing rapidly in China.
It's just definitely like, so I think of I can't remember, I think it was maybe a Malcolm Gladwell book, but it was talking about how there's a really high number of plane accidents because the society is it's big on authority, right? So if you have a certain amount of authority, people listen, right? And then that would tend to like make pilots not make decisions, right? And then they'd fucking crash. So
I know it. I can't remember what it is. It was Koreans.
Was it Koreans?
I think because it was a Korean, either Malaysian or Korean. It wasn't China, but
okay.
Yeah, you're right. Like the co-pilot recognized something wrong, but he didn't speak up because it was apparently against the power.
Yeah, right. Like the head pilot had authority, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
and then they wrecked the plane, and however many people died.
Yeah. But that's like a commonality among like Asian culture, right?
Yeah, there's certainly that class structure. I didn't know much about it, and as an outsider, they didn't really let us into that.
Yeah. It's neither here nor there, but because I don't fucking know, to be honest with you. I'm just talking. Yeah, dude. So yeah, we wanted to talk about your. We wanted to share like you've been having some health. You've been dealing with like a lot of like health things. Like when we connected, we talked about that, and I know you wanted to share about some of that. So like, talk me through that whole time in your life and like what was going on and like what's happening.
Yeah, so that was when I turned 20, right before I turned 21. And I was still in college, finishing up college, and I worked as a teller at a bank, just finishing up school. And one day I had to leave the bank. I was just in a ton of pain, and it just felt weird. It was like nothing I'd ever felt. Like it at the time, it was just pretty foreign. And I just went home, and I really just kind of like laid in bed, and I was like, man, like I just kind of curled up and like just like maybe it'll go away. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And it persisted, and turned out that I ended up needing surgery to take care of some actual other health issues. We don't know what caused it, but there was some cysts, and needed to take care of that. So I went to have the surgery. And, at that point, like most people, I assume you have a surgery, you do what the doctor says, you heal up from that surgery, and you go about your merry way. And that was the plan.
Right.
And so we did that, had the surgery, came out of the surgery, and didn't get better. It just kept getting worse, which was odd.
So what kept getting worse?
So I was in more pain than I was before I had the surgery.
Yeah.
I lost this side. I don't know. Yeah, that's good.
Good. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Damn, dude. So you went in, you had surgery, and you came out, and you were in a lot of pain. And so you had pain going into the surgery?
Yeah. So I had pain, which at least at the time we were all attributing to just whatever these cysts were. And then after the surgery, there was the post-surgical pain, of course.
Yeah.
And then, so it did get a little better at about 2 or 3 weeks in, and then it kind of like progressed and got worse again.
Yeah.
So.
And what's the pain?
So it's called complex regional pain syndrome, CRPS is the designation that it gets. I wasn't given that diagnosis until about 2.5 years ago, though.
Oh, really?
So I lived for about 7 years not knowing at all what I was dealing with.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Whoa. 7. So what were those? So what were you being told? In the early days? Yeah, like what was? So you get out of surgery, you're in more pain. Like what happens from there?
So like anyone, I went back to the doctor and said, I'm in a lot of pain still, man. Like what's going on? I thought this surgery was supposed to fix it.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, you're fine. You're just healing from the surgery." He's like, "Take Advil and take hot baths, and you're gonna be good."
Yeah, man, Advil's so hard on your fucking liver.
And I was pumping Advil, all the time.
I bet you were.
And it didn't do anything.
No.
And so then I finally realized that the dude I was dealing with didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah.
And that I needed to progress to a doctor that knew. At that time I didn't suspect anything like out of the ordinary. I just thought this guy's an idiot. He can't figure it out. I need to find someone else.
Yeah. So this is something related to your nerves, right? So post-surgery you had some nerve damage. Is that what happened? Or
so looking back on it, I believe that, a nerve was either nicked during surgery and or scar tissue formed and trapped that nerve after the surgery.
Really?
But at the time, no one really understood what was happening.
How common is this?
So it's
just from like surgeries in general. Like, I mean, is you know what I mean? I mean, I can only imagine that we're all just humans. So it's like, what are the odds of somebody hitting? You hear about botched surgeries all the time.
Yeah, my personal belief is that it's more common than we think.
Yeah.
But the statistics say that it's like 1 in a million or something ridiculous.
Really?
So I don't think it's ultra common, but I think other people have pain that they don't know how to. Again, doctors have a tough time diagnosing because, there's not a set criterion for what this is.
Yeah.
There are now ways that they can help test, that they can do questions they can ask you to see if it falls into this kind of like. But most doctors aren't trained on it.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing, is diagnosis is hard when the doctors don't know to look for it.
Fuck, dude. So in the beginning, it was just what were your steps? Like, did they ever try to put you on like any like hard narcotics or anything for the pain management? Or
Yeah.
Like what were some of the things that you had to like go through?
So early on, I ended up seeing a GI because the original issue was in my male area, and so it did feel like I was getting punched in the balls all day, every day, which kind of sucks, obviously.
But you say you're having more referral pain, right? Like it's
yeah. So like I had tons of referred pain, and as us guys know, usually when you get hit in the nuts, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't just hurt in the nuts; it hurts in your stomach.
Yeah, dude. Oh fuck, makes me want to throw up.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's just anyone I talk to, just like telling that you can see, you go to that place and you're like, I know what that feels like.
Dude, oh man, it's so funny. I was rolling jiu-jitsu just the other day, and this guy I was going with, he fucking headbutted me right in the dick. I was like, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You're headbutting? Oh, it didn't feel good.
That sounds awful.
It happens.
You don't have a cup on or anything for that?
No, I don't roll a cup with not when I grapple. So whenever I wrestled in high school, I had a coach tell me that like we don't wear cups in wrestling because like maybe like a nut would slip out and then like it could get caught.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I mean, I guess that's still true. It could happen, but I don't know if that's the real reason why. But ever since then, I just don't ever wear cups. Like whenever I grapple or anything. Like, sometimes I will. I mean, I used to wear them whenever I fought.
I was gonna ask.
But no, like when I do jiu-jitsu or anything like that, I don't. Some guys do.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, with what I've been through, I wouldn't want to feel any more pain down there.
Bro, have you been kicked in the nuts since?
Since? No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't think as an adult I've done anything to deserve getting kicked in the nuts.
Oh, yeah. You know
I
what?
haven't done any martial arts.
Yeah, I do so much. Yeah, I do so much like fighting and shit. It's just common in my world.
Maybe that's what I need. You know, maybe I just need to get kicked in the balls a few times.
Oh,
just
dude,
to reset.
You might fucking pass out and die.
Yeah, I would hope not.
Oh shit! All right, so for the pain, like, is it cutting in and out on you?
Yeah, I don't know why it's not moving.
Yeah, I don't know why either. How's that? Can you hear me?
It was good. Now it's back to. Yeah.
You good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I can hear you. That's weird, Dang. I don't know why it keeps cutting out. Maybe I need to get a new adapter.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows? Either way, so you're having just obviously a lot of pain, and the Advil's not working, hot baths aren't working.
Yeah.
What were some options that were presented to you?
So at the time, I ended up seeing a GI doctor, an intestinal doctor, and he was a great doctor and listened well, and he, without knowing much, he kind of surmised that it was probably nerve pain. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And so he put me on gabapentin, which is just a nerve pain medicine.
Yeah.
I slowly build that dose up. And nortriptyline, which is also a nerve pain medicine. Okay. It's also an antidepressant, but before it was an antidepressant, they used it for nerve pain.
Yeah. Whenever I worked at Express Scripts, I used to work in the call center on the phones, and I used to... like whenever I first started there, we would just basically set people up for home delivery. Like we'd mail them 90-day supplies, their scripts.
Yep.
And one of the things that we were always told, like you should never assume, because you start to learn what these different things are prescribed for typically, but like you should never assume what somebody's given something for, because the one medication can be prescribed for a number of things.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I would never have known that either until going through all this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was what they tried at first, and I think between that and I started seeing a chiropractor regularly. At the time, I think didn't know it was a nerve issue really per se, but I think that helped a lot to keep the spine in alignment.
Yeah, keeping the spine alignment is really good. Do you do anything now as far as like decompression or anything like that?
Not specifically. I mean, I do stretches to try to pull pressure off that lower back, but I don't hang upside down or
or even just hang from like a pull-up bar with your hands. Yeah, just
I do that
fully extended and just relax. That helps with the spine. Yeah, and that's good for the upper back. Also, I mean, get like an inversion table or something. That'd be good.
I thought about it. Maybe I should.
It's a good move. It's a good move for sure.
Have you ever used one?
Yeah, I used to have one.
Really?
Yeah, I'll probably get another one at some point. I thought about getting the gravity boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sold it just to fund other operations.
Yeah. No, I know how that is.
Oh, shit, man. Yeah, dude. So, yeah, that'd be good on the spine. What else did you do?
So at the time, that was my regimen, was those two meds and chiropractic work and just kind of living life.
Yeah.
That was right as I had accepted that job in Hawaii. So,
So when you moved to Hawaii, you're dealing with this.
yeah, it was getting better as I was transitioning toward Hawaii, but right up until the end, I was still kind of like, like this is bad. Like I hope I can keep it under control because you just don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Fuck, dude.
So I think looking back on it, I've come to find that part of what happened there is I think immersing myself in a new area and having to learn a new job and a new, where do you eat, where do you where do you do everything as far as learning a new area, and so I think that helped focusing on something external rather than
so like took your mind off the pain.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So it didn't hurt as bad, you said.
I think that helped. I think it was still there, but I think it was just I was stuck in a normal routine that was easy for me back in Colombia.
Yeah.
And so my brain really wasn't challenged by the things that I was doing.
Yeah.
So it was really more focused on how do we fix this problem that it really couldn't fix on its own.
Right. Yeah. Plus, I mean, when you're in Hawaii, you're probably getting a lot more sunshine.
Yes.
I mean, that's even just in daily work life. I mean, that's probably inevitable, right? I mean, because you're doing real estate, right? So you're out and about showing houses and whatnot.
Yeah. So out there, I was a lender, but same idea. I was outside, as much as I wanted, pretty much.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it that's kind of, from my understanding, like kind of just a part of like the culture on the islands, right? Like people are outside and active.
I mean, when it's between 65 and 80 degrees every day, it makes it pretty easy to want to be outside and enjoy what you can as far as, even if it is a little walk during work or whatever.
I just love like places that are just more active. Like, I mean, they're out there for sure. Like, that's what I love about Austin so much. Like, I'm leaving there in the morning, right?
Oh yeah.
That city is just such an active city, so it's just cool to like just to be in those environments where it just lends to just more activity.
That's cool, and I think all of us have gotten away from our roots as humans. Movement is so key, and more recently, with all the pain, I got tired of, I wasn't working out, I wasn't being that active because I was in pain all the time. But eventually, I just realized I'm like, well, if it's not going to get better on its own, I just gotta go live life, right?
Yeah.
And so I started working out again and enjoyed getting the rest of the body around the issue improved,
Right. Yeah, now were you told to limit your activity?
Oh yeah. So they told me we have to kind of fast forward here. Technically what they say is I went into remission for like 3 years. So this is a disease that if diagnosed early, they say that there's a pretty high incidence of being able to put it under wraps pretty quickly.
How?
So between using these nerve pain meds and some other, there's a long list of modalities that people will use.
Yeah.
But they say it's about when you catch it and how soon you catch it.
Okay.
So apparently I was a little lucky in that we didn't get on it right away, but it wasn't too far down the line.
Okay.
And so I think that helped. Every few months out in Hawaii, I would still have like a recurrence of some pretty bad pain, but it was a lot more short-lived and kind of like way more manageable. So for me, I look back on that and think, well, that was a good time still, even though there was a little bit of pain here and there.
Yeah. So then did the pain come back when you came back to Missouri?
Not right away, no. It was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years after I came back.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 3 years total that it was kind of under wraps.
Oh, yeah. What was going on at that time?
So I was working at a job where I sat in a chair all day. And so part of me thinks that being that the spine is related to nerve issues.
Oh, for sure.
That sitting in that chair in the same position for 8 hours or more.
Yeah, dude, your psoas gets tight, your hip flexors get tight, like it's all bad.
And that's the psoas and hip flexors, right where that nerve runs. It runs right around the hip.
Oh, really?
It runs out your lower lumbar, comes around your hip.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's
so
that same path.
When I'm feeling crappy, I do stretch that psoas, use any stretch I can.
Yeah.
Roll it out,
Yeah. Dude, there's a good tool called the Psorite.
I've heard about it. I need to get that.
Dude, they're so uncomfortably hard. But,
are they?
Yeah, but they get deep in there. I've only used it whenever I went down to On It. They had one.
Yeah,
I should get one. I keep telling myself I need to get one. But
they're expensive. That's why I didn't.
they're like
get
$80, but
I thought it was like 150 or something.
no, they're not that expensive.
Okay.
It's like $80, but I look at it as just like a tool for like my health, and it's just
Right.
like I'm just using this tool to like get deep in there. You know what I mean? Like I can't do myself. Dude, and like that type of work on your body, like it's so uncomfortable and it hurts, but at the end it's so good for you, just to break up that tissue and just those knots and oh yeah.
Well, you're right. I need to just do it. I've put that off. Ever since I heard of it, I was like, why am I doing all these other psoas stretches? But I haven't used a tool that's, directly for that purpose.
Right. Yeah, it definitely works, dude, for sure. Yeah, you just gotta invest in your health.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, and that's the outlook I took after the second go at it.
Yeah.
I ended up having another surgery on the testicles just because I was in so much pain again. I basically walked into the doctor. I'm like, if you don't fucking do something, I'm gonna cut something off and put it in your fucking hand.
Shit, bro.
And he looked at me and he was like, okay, you're really serious. I'm like, yes, because I'm a pretty calm person, and I don't really. I guess my words weren't being heard correctly because like I thought I was raising it to this like, I'm in a bunch of pain, and he wasn't picking up on it. So I kind of had to go what I felt was pretty drastic, obviously, and give him a picture for what I'm feeling inside.
Yeah, fuck, dude. So is this the same doctor from before?
No, so this is after I'm in St. Louis, and this is a new urologist.
So you're in St. Louis now. Okay, so you went from Columbia to Hawaii to St. Louis.
Yes.
Got it. So, okay, now... shit, what was I going to ask you? I don't know, let's go back to yours. All right.
So...
You're in pain.
I was going to say...
yeah. So, the surgery. You had the surgery, and were you in more pain or less pain after?
So, this was all eerily the same. I felt... This is the second surgery. I felt better for about a month, and then... I don't know, when I say better, I was still in pain, but like, in my head, I'm thinking this is post-surgical pain versus what I had before.
Yeah.
And the doctor told me, he's like, I cannot guarantee you this is going to do anything for you.
He let you know that?
Yeah.
So what is he trying to fucking do? Maybe just hope that, just hopefully like the placebo, right? Hopefully your mind heals yourself.
I think... yeah, and when you're in that kind of pain, it's really hard to explain the thought process. I should have been more thorough, but you don't feel like you have time.
You're just like, I just need to do something, and like right now.
Yeah. So to put all this in perspective, I guess I should have brought this up earlier. This disease, it's also like a cousin to fibromyalgia, which people know is pretty painful, but there's an internationally adopted pain scale called the McGill pain scale.
Okay.
And I know pain is subjective. If I lit your hand on fire versus mine, we might have different feelings of the way we interpret that pain. But whatever way that they developed this, I think it was in Canada, they looked at, a wide group of people. So I don't know the studies behind it. I don't know if it's, 100% factual. But they listed things commonly, like breaking your arm, a bunch of things that we're all used to, and childbirth, and the pain from CRPS is listed above childbirth. It's the only thing higher on this list is being physically lit on fire while you're alive.
Oh shit.
So to put it in perspective, it's very painful. I've met people who have like brain tumors and things like that, and they compare the brain tumor as a cakewalk compared to the pain. And most people, it's in an extremity like an ankle or a wrist. So I'm a unique case that I have it in a very unique area.
Oh, dude. But there's probably, like you said, like 1 in a million people dealing with this.
Very few.
Is what they're estimating.
Yeah.
Dude, I can only imagine what the pain would feel like if it were like in my ankle were on fire, like my hand was just hurting, like excruciatingly like bad.
Yeah, so it feels like you're getting just hooked up to like a generator, and it's a lot of different pains. There's a consistent dull pain, but every now and then there's like a shooting, like a lightning bolt going through you. You
don't know when that's coming.
No, you have no idea what causes it or when it's coming.
Dude, so then this kind of led you down a path of, you started researching and trying to figure out as much as possible.
Yeah. so I became my own, or tried and continue to try to educate myself as much on this issue as I can, because I was consistently seeing doctors who didn't seem to have any other answers. They kind of threw their hands up like, well, I've tried what I know to try here.
Yeah.
And so after that surgery and I was still in pain, I was fed up. My wife was like, you got to do something. Like, you can't just, my mentality was all just push through it, because I pushed through it for however long.
Yeah.
And,
we're bad about that. At least guys in general. I'm terrible about that.
Yeah.
Dude. I just deal with shit. I'm like, no, we'll just keep moving forward.
Right. I mean, well, what's the alternative? And I was frustrated because I had been to doctors and they had basically told me we've done what we can. And but it was so bad again that I was like, I got to do something. So I started knocking on doctors' doors that I wasn't supposed to. I got to like an extremely specialized urologist in St. Louis, and he deals usually with child cancer and things like that. And I was like, look, man, I don't want to waste your time, but I'm desperate here. I don't know what's going on. I was emailing doctors in Colorado that like did denervation, like
what's that?
Where they just pull all the nerves out of the spermatic cord. So you apparently just lights out,
Oh, fuck that. It's no bueno. But you're just like, you know what, dude? I'll do it.
At the time I would have.
You'd rather feel nothing.
And like a lot of guys actually just cut their shit off,
For real?
And under internet research, I found out that just like when someone loses an arm in a car wreck, they get phantom pain from their balls. So it was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lose them just to be in pain again.
Yeah, dude, like you're still feeling it. Like it doesn't really solve anything. It just insult the injury at that point.
It's such a terrible like proposition.
Oh shit. Well, you should have just kept your balls.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. So I can only imagine like you probably become pretty desperate.
I was very desperate, and this doctor said, you need to see a pain doctor, because what's going on here is urologists have looked at you and no one knows what's going on. And he was the first one to realize it's probably what used to be called RSD, reflexive sympathetic dystrophy. So my peripheral nervous system is basically in fight or flight mode, because it's sensing that something's wrong, and it just goes in an endless loop of trying to fix that.
Yeah. So what's that? Is that the sympathetic nervous system? So it's always on.
Yep.
Man, that's not a good feeling. I don't like. So sometimes you just get like that jolt of like adrenaline, like you're just ready to like either like run, like, or you're scared or whatever the case may be. Like that's not a good feeling to like be that excited all the time.
Yeah, and you don't really feel panic, but when there's pain like that, it is unsettling.
Yeah, well, it expresses itself in like different ways, but I'm just saying from like the nervous system point, like it's just it's on, and it's there's like it's just all the way on. You know what I mean? So like if your system is just like all the way on, but obviously it's like localized and it's painful. It's just fuck, dude. Like you can't regulate that. It's just I can only imagine.
Well, and it's the subconscious. That's the hard part. Is like no matter what mental willpower you put toward this situation, there's nothing mentally you can do to turn it off. It's not like you're making it up. But your subconscious brain, you can't turn off.
It's just on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your body's just reacting to this signal it's receiving. And essentially what's happening is that nerve is affected, and it's sending the brain a signal that I'm in pain, or something's wrong.
Yeah.
Consistently. I think they said it's something ridiculous, like 15 times a second that signal is traveling from the nerve up to your brain and back.
Yeah.
So it's just like you're just stuck in this instant feedback loop with no resolution.
Right. Now we were talking. Have you tried? I can't remember. Have you tried meditation?
So yeah, I've done some guided meditation, and I really like it. I'm just not good at the self-discipline of doing it regularly.
Yeah. Well, because I know we were talking that at the coffee shop, and there's just so much as far as like with breath work and just different techniques that have been shown to really calm like the nervous system down. I don't know if have you researched any of that or come across any of that? Like
no, not enough.
Yeah, there's just so much interesting shit out there. Obviously, like cold therapy is good for like the central nervous system. Have you tried that?
Like cryo?
Yeah, the cryo or ice
No.
baths or anything like that.
No, I would be happy to. Really, it sounds like I'm negligent, but it feels like you're trying when you're in the, in this situation. It feels like you're trying so many things, but there's so many things out there.
Dude, there's just so much, and we're always learning stuff, and
Yeah.
and that's the thing about like with the healthcare system, right? I mean, doctors, they only know so much, and they're just people too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like they're being educated in a model that is, it favors prescriptions and different things, and they're not really educated on, nutrition and like movement and different things like that.
Hardly at all.
Yeah, and a lot of these, especially now, you're bogged down with a ton of debt, and like you're trying to pay that off, and just like fuck, man, it's just this complicated situation to say the least, man. So
well, if they do know about it, they're not. I don't know if they're either not allowed or it's not what.
Yeah,
they
well, how
want
many of them are taking the
you.
time to learn and educate themselves on that? You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, but the healthcare system, like this system, I guess is the word, or industry is probably the better word. The people who work in that industry are some of the most unhealthiest people. Like,
Yeah.
You go out to a hospital and you'll see a good number of nurses and doctors standing outside smoking cigarettes.
Yes. It's true.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Then again, the stress they deal with, is a different level for sure.
Yeah,
so,
but
not that that's an excuse.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Shit, dude. Yeah. So you kind of have to start just kind of looking at these other things. Like, what else?
Yeah.
Can you do? I always just look at it like, what can I give my body to help to help make it as optimal as possible.
And I like that mentality. That's kind of where I've come to as well. Is I do believe the body can heal itself for most things, and I believe my case is not necessarily excluded from that. I believe that, if I give the body the tools, it can at least do a better job at keeping this thing under control. In addition to, at this point, I do need to rely on some other medicine and things like that.
Yeah.
I hope to get away from that, sooner than later.
Yeah. I know we were talking we're kind of repeating some things, but it's still relevant. I guess for the listeners, none of it's being repeated. So
yeah.
I do wonder, like, because it is associated with the mind, and like with what the research has been done with like MDMA and different like psilocybin and different things. As the laws change, I wonder if that would be like a viable option. You know what I mean? Just for the mind to, I don't know, kind of reset itself possibly and help with that nerve.
Yeah, I'm 100% open to that kind of idea. I hadn't heard of that being a thing really until a few years ago.
Yeah.
And one of the treatments for CRPS is doing ketamine infusions.
Yeah.
And
that's some heavy shit.
They say that it is. They say that that's a pretty intense process, but it's also similar to a controlled use of psilocybin or LSD. Not the same interaction, of course,
right?
But I guess the experience you get from it, they explain with ketamine infusions that you kind of are able to take a step back and look at the situation a little more from less of an emotional or attached standpoint,
right?
And kind of compartmentalize all that. Because I get angry thinking about this. Like this is my 20s, like 20 to 30. I've still been blessed, and trust me, I live my life as such. Like I still look at it as I have it way better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm not playing a victim over it. But it is frustrating that some of your best years were my full health was gone. Like I had to work on a 75 or 50% level.
Yeah. Well, the best years are yet to come, my friend.
Hey, I like that.
That's how I look at it, dude. My biological age is just way younger than like my chronological age, right? So it's like, you progress like by the year, but if you take care of yourself, man, like all the numbers, you'll read a whole lot younger.
Yeah, and I feel that way. I've stayed optimistic and mentally young and willing to learn.
Yeah,
and go through new phases, and in a lot of ways, this has become a big blessing I'm able to connect with people, especially like older people who go through health issues. I
Yeah.
can empathize a lot better than other people our age.
Yeah, because this is more common for people people that are much older, right?
Well, that and just that they've had a longer experience track record of doing stuff.
Yeah.
Really, it's I don't know the age breakout. I mean, I know kids as young as 7 that
Oh,
have been
really?
diagnosed with it. It's
Okay.
I don't know what causes it, and if certain people are predisposed to it due to the type of neurological system they have,
Yeah.
or if it's the type of injury to the nerve, or no one really knows for sure exactly what's the precipice for it.
Huh. Is there a cure?
There's not a quote unquote cure. There's just modalities to help really manage it.
Yeah.
The doctors don't believe that there's ever really a way. Again, they called it me going into a remission, but they never talk about a cure.
Huh.
They talk about managing.
So, did they think the remission was possible?
I think they do, but the other thing is they're used to seeing people at or worse. Again, I have it in a very specific area, but in my opinion, due to staying active and not letting the pain get out of control, I compare it to like a bonfire. If you let a bonfire get out of control and you try to use a bottle of water on it,
Yeah.
nothing's really going to happen. But if
Yeah.
you get that thing under control to where it's a really small set of embers, and then you use a bottle of water, it puts it out.
Yeah.
So, I think they're used to seeing people who are in full-on panic mode. And once you get down to where I'm at now, I still deal with pain. Like, I can feel it right now.
Yeah.
But it's just, comparatively speaking to what I'm used to dealing with, it's at a nearly almost to where my brain doesn't notice anymore because I'm so used to it.
Yeah. So you've been using some CBD balm. You said that's been helping a little bit. And some
Yeah.
turmeric,
I don't know if
anti-inflammatories.
the turmeric was a great, thanks to you, that was a great addition. I'd heard of it, never really knew much about it.
Yeah.
Came home, told my wife about it, and she was really interested, looked into it and bought some like that next day. And yeah, we've enjoyed that. And then the CBD cream, I really enjoyed it. Again, I don't know if it's really helping with the nerve pain, but when I have like a sore back, I was using it.
Oh, yeah.
Just, within like 5 minutes, it felt better. And
Yeah.
like I said to you, I don't know if it was the placebo effect or if it was really something that was happening. I'm not, from Missouri, it's the show me state, so I'm always a little skeptical at first, but great results so far.
Yeah, no, dude, CBD's it's a hell of a fucking compound. We're late on research, right? Because of like obviously all the laws, but we're learning more and more all the time with these different compounds and what they're able to do, dude. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really energized by that, to be honest. I think it's something that I'd like to explore.
Yeah.
Especially topically, like you said. I've definitely, since this is a neurological disorder, I believe. I've had a neurologist say that I also have migraines and things like that, so I believe it's all somewhat interconnected.
Yeah.
And
how much water do you drink a day?
A lot.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not like staying dehydrated.
Okay. Good stuff. That's what I always think about when people tell me they've headaches. I'm like, you drink enough water.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe like absorption levels or something are off.
Could be.
Enzymes.
I always add salt and lemon to and also I like apple cider vinegar too to my first drink of the day.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that do for you?
So the salt will help with absorption, right? Because throughout the night we can between just perspiration and respiration we can lose about a pound of water, and so the salt will help with that. But then I'll do the lemon for like the flavonoids, and you're just kind of getting some just different minerals and vitamins from there. And then I do the apple cider vinegar that helps with like blood glucose regulation, and then also like some digestion. So it's a good little morning tonic.
That's good. I need to get on the Dr. Adam morning ritual because I've never been a morning person. But when you wake up to pain, like you don't even want to wake up. You know? You just want to like stay in bed in your comfort zone. When in reality that makes nothing better.
It makes it worse. Yeah, it's like, oh, I hurt so bad I can't move, but it's like if you don't move, you'll hurt even worse.
Yes.
Oh, it's a vicious cycle. I hurt my back deadlifting one time, and I was like, oh man, I was just like, man, this back pain is just not cool.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I've had nothing egregious back wise, but I've always had some lower back pain even since high school.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing, just being an idiot.
Yeah, we all were. Just the fucking, yeah, dude, it's the story of my life, just being an idiot.
Yep. Hey, that's the fun thing. I always say, if you're not weird, I don't even want to hang out with you. You know?
Yeah, all the best people are weirdos, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. All right, brother. Well, let's wrap this up. Tell the folks how they can get a hold of you, because you can sell people some houses and help them with that process,
yeah.
too.
So,
yeah, I'll leave the floor to you.
I was going to say, you can find me on any social media under Rex Eighmey. I did grow up as Rusty. You can call me whatever you want. I definitely need to be better about doing my website and things like that. And recently moved off on my own, had been working with some mentors and friends for the last few years under real estate. And so you can find me on Zillow, on LinkedIn, and Facebook and Instagram and all those things under either Rex Eighmey or STL Rex.
Yeah. Right
so
on, dude.
It's been a pleasure, man. I really appreciate it. And I know I told you this before, but you're affecting a lot of people out here that you probably don't even know about. And with all my journey, I try to do things to better my situation. Like I said, if it's not solving it necessarily, I know I can definitely improve the body of work around it. And the movement exercises that you do, and the suggestions with, again, the morning routine, nutrition help, facts definitely help. So appreciate all that, and
man,
love to see what you've done so far, and I hope to see you continue to grow this thing.
Yeah, I mean, we still got a long way to go, and I know you were saying that you you also kind of wanted, because there's not like a lot of information out there still, and like there's not really a big community, right? So if people want to get a hold of you, kind of talk about like their issues and stuff like that, like were you trying to like help them build a community, or what are you doing?
Well, I think you're helping me build it, is what you no. You're definitely an inspiration in that regard as well. I definitely never would have saw myself doing something like this, and it's probably not my specialty. But I've joined support groups, and it was really just a pit of people feeling bad for themselves.
Yeah.
And I realized that's not what a support group is supposed to be there for. It's
Right.
supposed to be for people to help push each other through the hard times.
Yeah.
And so from that inspiration, seeing kids have this is awful, man. Like, if not for myself, I want to at least spread awareness, and some people are in areas that have even worse health care.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine the struggles and frustrations that these people are going through, just trying to figure out what's going on. Because I know what's going on, it's still hard, right?
Yeah.
In the future, coming future, I'd like to do probably a more limited podcast, but talk to people that are dealing with chronic pain, disabilities, and some of the things both health-wise that they're doing to improve themselves, and mentally to kind of push through this. I'd love to share stories, because again, I know you've been an inspiration to me. I can easily be an inspiration to people who are in a dark place dealing with this kind of stuff as well.
Right on, dude. So we'll be on the lookout for that. All right, dude.
Well, thanks for giving me the platform to talk a little bit about it, and for catching up, man. It's been a blast.
Yeah, dude. Always a good time. All right, brother. All right, everybody. Till next time.